It's time for Dodger Baseball.
And welcome to the Dodgers Nation post-game show. I'm your host, Doug McCain. Thanks for rocking with us after the Dodgers lose to the Giants in Game 3 of the NLDS. And they lose to the Giants in Game 3 of the NLDS, and they blew a golden opportunity. Sorry, I have a technical difficulty in my light right there. They blew a golden opportunity to take a commanding lead in this series. Instead, this was one of the most disappointing losses in the history of the Los Angeles Dodgers. Make no mistake about it, the offense did not show up. I thought it was a really rough night for Mookie Betts. Some bad luck there, make no mistake about it. On the pitching, they more than stepped up to the plate. They got the job done, but this offense, they just muster up 5 hits tonight, and they couldn't get to Alex Wood. They got absolutely owned by Duvall, and it's going to be tough sledding for this Dodger team that has to win tomorrow. We don't know who the starter is going to be. Hopefully, Dave Roberts will announce that right now. If you guys can let me know down below in the comment section who will be starting tomorrow's game, let me know. But first and foremost, let's slice up that blame pie. Why do you think the Dodgers lost today? Give me your takes down below in the comment section. We have so much to get into, guys. But bottom line is, look, the top of this order has not gotten it done. Mookie Betts, he had multiple opportunities tonight to have that big hit. And, yes, it was a fantastic play there by Brandon Crawford. Just a phenomenal play to rob Mookie Betts there of a base hit there in the bottom of the 7th inning. You had Pollock, he grounded to second for the first out. Souza Jr. pinch hitting. He, on a 1-0 pitch, he singled to right center. Then Will Smith on a 1-0 pitch, he ripped a line drive base hit to left on a fastball inner half. And an awful, atrocious, pathetic at-bat by Austin Barnes. He gets blown away by 3 pitches. Didn't even look like a big leaguer during that at-bat. And then on a 1-0 count, Mookie Betts, he lines out to short. It was a fantastic play by Brandon Crawford. An 850 expected batting average on that hit. But Mookie Betts had multiple opportunities in this game. He just couldn't come through. Bottom of the 3rd, he had a chance early on in the game to try to get to Alex Wood. And that was kind of the issue with this team. They got owned by Alex Wood. Not one of Alex Wood's former teammates, despite having put up really solid numbers against him, none of them were able to get a base hit off of him tonight. I mean, Albert Pujols, he got their only 2 hits against him. And just look, you guys know I'm the biggest Mitch Lotta half full guy. Don't blame Barnes. I'm not blaming Barnes. I mean, there's a lot of blames to go around, but that was a terrible at-bat. There's no way to defend that. That hurt. It's over from David 44. Isn't tomorrow a bullpen game? Fire the batting coach, Eddie Harris. Yeah, wholesale changes. Look, you get shut out twice in 3 games against the San Francisco Giants. They've only hit 1 home run. I do think some wholesale changes are in order if the Dodgers don't come back to win this series, because the pitching staff, they got it done. They more than got it done. Max Scherzer, he silenced anyone who thought that he wasn't going to come out and shove. He was a certified shover boy once again. Save for that first inning where he had command issues. He had 3 ball counts. He had the mistake there to Longoria. But look, I mean, he had the mistake there to Longoria there in that 5th inning. On that at-bat, he's starting off with some breaking stuff, starts him off with a curveball. He fouls that off. He gets a swinging strike on that 4-seamer, and then he fouls off 2 pitches, first the slider, then the changeup, and then he tries to sneak a heater by him, and Longoria, he crushes that 110 off the bat. 407 feet, and that was the only run tonight. But like I said, this is unacceptable. This offense, you have to be able to score more than 0 runs, okay? You can't get shut out at home in front of a crowd that was waiting to explode, a crowd that was waiting to celebrate and cheer this Dodger team. But hey, this Dodger offense, there was no Dodger offense tonight. They gave them absolutely nothing to cheer about. But yeah, 0 runs equals 0 chance. Absolutely embarrassing display of offense. I'd pitch Buehler for Game 4, Jimmy Denson. Look, now this is what the Dodgers are up against. They have to find a way to win tomorrow, and then if you win that, you have to go against Logan Webb. And I think I would like their chances better considering look, the Dodgers, are they going to get owned again by Logan Webb? Hopefully they'll be able to. Look, we got to focus on one game at a time. Let's focus on tonight and focus on finding a way to extend this series, because right now the Dodgers, their backs are up against the wall. They're facing elimination. They're on the brink of elimination. This is the same team that came back against the Atlanta Braves down 3-1. I will tell you that was a neutral crowd. It's very different this year. This isn't a 60-game season where you're playing in Texas in front of 10, 12,000 people and basically a neutral crowd. No, you have to play road games this year. It's very, very different, and it's gonna be a tall mountain to climb. I think this Dodger team can do it. They have the talent to do it. They have the pitching to do it. It's just this offense does not inspire very much confidence with how inconsistent they are. I've been calling them Dodger, Jekyll, and Mr. Hyde, and you saw it rear its ugly head. But they blew it from Euro. Fire everyone. We got missing Muncy, Chris Joe. Yeah, missing Muncy, no question about it, Max. But look, you got enough talent to overcome missing Max Muncy. And I think that, look, Max Muncy's been fantastic against the Giants this year, 1,056 OPS with 8 bombs. But look, let's be honest. Trey Turner had 2 hits in the first game. He had the double in the last game. We had the 2 hits in the first wild card game, and they had the double in the last game. But he hasn't shown up this series. I mean, Trey Turner, he just hasn't gotten it done. Ivy Strogan, thank you very much. Roberts proved once again that he can't manage pinch runners and hitters. Jim, I mean, look, we can talk about that. I think for the most part, I mean, Will Smith batting down that lineup, you saw what they were trying to do to try to put it in place so you can have substitutes later with Bellinger. And we saw Souza Jr. get an opportunity, trying to use your bench as much as you can. But look, the bottom of the line, this team's stars have not played like stars. And Chris Taylor, I thought he was fantastic defensively. You saw his range, his athleticism, the routes he took on some of those putouts. I thought he was great. But look, Seeger hasn't gotten it done. Mookie Betts, this is probably, look, I mean, you pay Mookie Betts $365 million to deliver on nights like this, and Mookie Betts, you guys know I bring my facts to the fight. I don't let my facts get in between my feelings. I like to keep real with you guys. Mookie Betts just hasn't gotten it done. He's hit some, he hasn't had those extra base hits. A lot of singles for Mookie Betts, or some singles when he's actually registering base hits. But tonight, he was in a position to really take this team over the top, put this team on his shoulders, and he didn't get it done. And look, that's the guy, that's the face of your franchise, that's the guy that you have invested $365 million to, and you expect him to come up at least once tonight in those situations. Yes, there is some bad luck involved. Yes, he scorched that one to Brandon Crawford, but for the most part, he just couldn't come through, and it's unfortunate. Need some water, guys. I should have kept Doogie. I disagree with that. I mean, Mookie Betts still worth it, no question about it. And help us, Jobu. We can't do it ourselves. As far as I'm concerned, the Dodgers won the World Series last year. Whether or not the offense was there tonight, a 40-mile-per-hour gust didn't help the game. Yeah, but look, the Giants were playing in those same conditions. And look, that crowd, you can't. I mean, I heard people on Twitter saying the Dodgers crowd was weak tonight, this and that. The Dodgers crowd wasn't weak. There was just nothing to cheer about. I mean, save for Max Scherzer getting it done. There was a lot of tension out there. But, hey, it's tough to celebrate when you're not scoring one run. That Dodgers crowd would have been lit if you gave them something to celebrate, something to cheer about. So I see people on Twitter saying the Dodgers Stadium crowd was weak. It wasn't that the crowd was weak. It was that the offense was weak and didn't give them anything to cheer about. But Betts is overrated. I disagree. Mookie Betts isn't overrated. He just had a rough night tonight. And it's magnified when you don't score any runs. Diane Schroeder, I knew it was over after Mookie hits a line drive into the glove of Crawford and strands 2 base runners. Yeah, I mean, you saw in that in that situation right there that the Dodgers really needed to find a way to manufacture a run by any means necessary, and you had a guy at the plate that you want. You want Mookie Betts up there in a pressure situation. Let's look at the bottom of the 3rd inning. 1-2 count, Albert Pujols. By the way, I love how Albert Pujols, the guy that just picked up off the street, that Angels DFA, and he was one of the only guys that really showed up in the Dodgers' biggest game of the year. I mean, that's got to be I hope it's they're doing a lot of soul searching in that clubhouse, because look, if this team loses this series, this Dodger team will be they'll go down as one of the most disappointing teams in the history of Major League Baseball. When you consider the talent that's on this roster, when you consider what this team has at their disposal and their resources, for this team to get bounced in the first round, against a team that was expected to win 74 games. Look, man, I bring the realness. I bring the truth to you guys, and them's the facts. If that's the case, that is what will be the outcome of this season. I'm not going to be AM570 or any of these other people that'll sugarcoat this, man. You guys come here, you come for that realness. And this team, they better find a way to win 2 games of this series. Or if there's going to be a fallout, make no mistake about it. And taking to the bottom of the third. Here, go back. Jock and Kike are killing it in the playoffs. Ruben, Moreno. Yeah, I mean, look. I'm probably going to do a video on that tomorrow. I mean, the spirit of Jock, the spirit of Kike, it's not on this team right now. And in a loss like this, it's really you really feel that. Jocktober, he's clutch. Kike Hernandez, you saw what he did in Game 7 of the NLCS. You see what Jock Peterson's been able to do in the postseason. Now, it wasn't a great fit, and I stand by the Dodgers not signing them, but it is an interesting conversation when you consider what this offense did tonight, what they've done 2 out of the last 3 games. You get shut out twice. You throw up a donut. Your offense is putrid. You are what your numbers say you are, and this offense just hasn't produced. And then who got it going in the second game? It was Cody Bellinger. It was A.J. Pollock. So Will Smith, he had a home run. But look, bottom line, Trey Turner, he hasn't gotten it done. Max Scherzer got it done in this series. Trey Turner, he needs to step up, because where's this Trey Turner from the regular season? The guy that's hitting base hits, the guy that's hitting 2 grand slams in a week, the guy who is looking like one of the best players in the league. Well, he does not look like one of the best players in the league in this series. So that's a big issue. Get rid of that POS Roberts. I think Roberts is not one of their big issues right now. Gonsolin tomorrow. Hopefully Tony smokes it. Look, I think that's a coin flip. I mean, like I said, I try to bring in the honesty, and hopefully Gonsolin go out there, attack the zone, and hopefully has the feel for that splitty and give you some gas, 96-mile-per-hour fastball, and keep the Dodgers in. Hopefully the Dodgers go out there, and look, we know what this team's going to do. They're going to go out tomorrow and win, 7-1 or 7-3, something like that. And that's what makes this team so maddening and frustrating to cover sometimes and follow sometimes. But look, at the end of the day, this team got outplayed by this Giants team. And I've said all year, if you've been watching the show all year, I said that this Giants team, they're going to win some games in the margins because of their elite defense. And you saw right there, Brandon Crawford's defense, when he just climbed the ladder and made that catch on Mookie Betts' line drive there in the 7th inning, there in the 8th inning, that proved to be the difference tonight. I mean, it was just a really, or actually that was the bottom of the 7th inning. Sorry, the bottom of the 7th inning, that proved to be the difference. With the Cat, it's over. He's not good. I don't know how Belly didn't even play. I mean, one of the most disgusting games I've ever seen, if not the most. To me, I was getting Game 7 of the 2017 World Series vibes. I mean, where only RBI we got was the guy who was throwing out the first. The only guy who got an RBI that night was the guy who threw out the first pitch tonight, which was Andre Ethier. So here we go. They don't beat themselves, that's for sure. Gary A. And yes, Gary A. over on YouTube. They don't beat themselves. They play sound. Duvall was a monster. Jake McGee comes in. He gets the job done. Rogers, I don't think they made it tough enough. We'll get into some of these at-bats in a second, some of these situations. But bottom line is there weren't too many opportunities that tonight for the Dodgers to score runs. But the ones they did, they just didn't take advantage. And you saw, I mean, even that, look, the wind is in play. But, look, you're going to go up there and keep trying to swing for the fences. I mean, unless you're going to really get a hold of one like Longoria did. Look at Brandon Crawford's there. They're in the top of the 7th inning, or in the top of the 6th inning right there that kept that in the yard. So the wind was a factor all night long. The Dodgers' approach at the plate, you know what it is, a lot of boom and bust. And you saw just not very many competitive at-bats where they were, look, I mean, look at this Dodger team tonight. I mean, what can you, I'm trying to rack my brain about some pathetic offensive displays by this team. But, I mean, you're talking about 0 for 4 with runners in scoring position. Pollock had an opportunity there. Barnes had an opportunity, and Betts had an opportunity. And if you look at the strikeout numbers, it's not like they struck out tons of times. 6 punch-outs for the Dodgers, and 2 walks. 2 walks, 6 strikeouts, and 2 walks. You start right there, and you're probably feeling good about the Dodgers at least scoring 1 run. And look, I think last time I checked, the expected batting average on Baseball Savant was like 296. So it was a very fluky. There was some flukiness to tonight's game. There's no question about it. But here we go. Lux at bat was great. He drew it where it was pitched. Bob Polly, yeah, I mean, I wasn't too mad. I mean, he got some good wood on it, but I mean, you really, considering you're going to left center right there on Duvall, you really have to get a hold of it to tie that game. And I think it was just more of a microcosm of the Dodgers' approach as a whole. Look, warning track fly balls don't count for anything, okay? They don't. Line drives with base runners, they do. And that's why this Giants team won tonight. And the Dodgers just couldn't. Look, I mean, 0 extra base hits. I mean, how are we supposed to defend that? When there's 0 extra base hits, there is an issue with the approach at the plate and the at-bat quality. I'm sorry. There's no way to defend that. Dumbass Roberts needs to go. Lux, Beatty, or Bellinger were better options than Barnes. I mean, you're going with the matchup right there. You're going with the lefty righty matchup there, and you go with Austin Barnes. He's off your bench, and yeah, that's just unfortunate. I mean, if you're looking right there, I mean, you subbed out Pujols early in the game, and that was clearly the plan. Pujols has 2 hits. He goes up in there in that situation, and it's a more favorable matchup. But you live by the home run, you die by the home run from Anthony. Yeah, give me one word to describe tonight's loss. And was this, in your opinion, was this the most disappointing loss you can think of as far as not just the outcome? Because, of course, losing Game 7 of the World Series is terrible. Losing Game 5 of the NLDS is a terrible feeling. But we saw more fight in those games. I remember Jock Peterson hitting a bomb off of Strasburg there in Game 2. I mean, to me, I think that this is one of the most underwhelming, disappointing offensive displays I've ever seen from a Dodger team, and I've been watching this team since I was 2. Okay, so, yeah, I've seen, I don't have millions of hours of baseball, okay, and, this was just really, really ugly. One word, embarrassing from Deborah Young. Disappointed. I'm crying tonight. D-Mac, don't cry. We have another opportunity tomorrow. You know how we do. We vent for the first, 20, 30 minutes, and then we'll start to spin a positive and see what we can do. But I will say it does burn right now that I'm watching some highlights of Kike hitting the sack fly and the jock. I mean, there is something to be said about championship DNA and championship moxie. And I do think this team obviously has guys on it that have it. But tonight you got to go up there and have a more relentless approach, especially against Alex Wood. You know what Wood wants to do? He wants to just bury those sliders at the bottom of the zone. He wants to try to locate that heater inside, and they just weren't seeing it well off him. But look, Alex Wood, I think last time I checked, he had a 1.38 ERA in his last 3 starts heading to this one. So he has been pitching well of late. And it's nothing against Alex Wood, but they, just like they did against Logan Webb, they made him look like he was a better pitcher than he really is. And that's been a common theme for this Dodger team all season long. I mean, you saw early in the year, they just make pitchers that aren't as good look like they're like multi-time Cy Young Award winners and things like that. It just it's definitely something that has been kind of haunting this team all year. I mean, just look at the team no hitter with Zach Davies. They made Zach Davies look like he was elite again or ever. I mean. Here we go. We got Dodgers need some Roman. We got I'm calling it right. I'm calling it now. There will be a Game 5, and we need Julio pitching. Joe Bennett. Hey, I think. Look, I after we shake this loss off and we flush it, we're just gonna have to do it the hard way. And we saw this team last year with their backs up against the wall. Can they get that text chain going? Because that text chain clearly worked out for them last year, and it was successful. And right now they're on the brink of elimination, and they could be going home this time tomorrow. So that's what's at stake. But here we go. I forgot his name. We got Wright Senzatella shut out at a home on Sunday. We got I Can't Steal, I Can't See. What is that? Not sure why he said that. But yeah, I mean, here we go. Armageddon, they never showed up tonight. Julio, we got orange and black. Julio for Game 5 equals win. Game 5 for the win. City, I think that, look, we're going to focus on Game 5 when we get to Game 5. Because the way this offense has been playing, I'm not even ready to talk about Game 5. If we win tomorrow, then we'll talk about Game 5. But if you think this team is just going to go out there and make things easy, you just haven't followed this team for that long, I guess. But here we go. Belly and Max is what we need. Who's even the leader in this clubhouse? I mean, Mookie, Justin Turner, they have the leadership. But here we go. Pathetic offense. Biggest game of the season. Bad weather for baseball, but probably going to be worse in San Francisco for Game 5. Fire the hitting coaches, all this talent, and they are a bunch of sleepers. Look, a lot of these guys. Look, I mean, here we go. We got to win tomorrow. We need to fire the hitting coaches after the season. I hate the Giants. If we lose tomorrow, is Roberts fired? Is he fired? I would say the answer is no. They will not fire Dave Roberts if they lose tomorrow. I can all but guarantee that. If we're being honest, I'd say there's probably a 99% chance he will not be fired. And I think that when you look at the wins he's been able to put together, if you look at 106-win season, tying the franchise record, yeah, I mean, this franchise has a lot of success, but we are in the golden age of Dodger baseball. I think some people, they see the Koufaxes and the Jackie Robinsons and all the great players and Fernando, and they just assume that the Dodgers have been this like perennial postseason giant when that's really wasn't the case, especially in the 90s and early 2000s. A great franchise. To me, it's the greatest franchise in the world, and I feel that way of them, the Lakers. But look, I mean, he has brought a lot of stability to this team, and I thought that he did a great job managing in the wild card game against the Cardinals, one of the hottest teams. But look, Dave Roberts, yeah, I mean, it's tough. It's tough when the offense can't score at all. It's tough to pin it all on the manager. And yeah, it was just one of those cold, frustrating, cruel nights of baseball that you see every now and then. If you watch this sport long enough, your team is going to lose games like this. And unfortunately for the Dodgers, it came at the worst possible time when they had an opportunity to take a commanding 2-1 lead in this best-of-5 game series. And now, look, I mean, now it's I would say 20-30% chance they win this series, something in that range. Pujols hit, Souza hit, Lux bomb. It just didn't work out. I mean, Lux didn't hit a bomb, so why are we talking about Lux hitting a bomb? I mean, look, warning tracks. I've seen billions of warning track home runs in my lifetime. Okay, I'm not giving someone credit for a warning track shot. Okay, Kike Jocks, Alex will be in the postseason. Think about that. I will. Now will hurt my feelings. Our offense, but hey, this series not over, guys. The series not over. Who was the guy who, when we were down 3-1, I guaranteed you the Dodgers would come back and beat that Braves team? Go back, look at the footage. I told you, I looked right in this camera. I said the Dodgers will win the NLCS when they were down 3-1. I'm not ready to guarantee they'd come back, but I still feel really good about their chances if they can get to a Game 5. I think at that point the pressure really does fall on the San Francisco Giants. They do have a Logan, Webb, and you got to hope that the familiarity in that situation helps the Dodgers. And the only issue, I think, is, look, I mean, can we depend on Walker Buehler? I think that'd be a real redemption start for him if he's able to pull that off. And look, I still go with Butane in that one, and maybe you have Julio Urias potentially waiting the wings on, and Buehler on a shorter leash just in case he can't give you that go deep in the game. Here he is again. Here he goes. What the F you talking about? Dodgers are done, son. That 3-1 comeback was luck. You got D-Mac. Will remind us. Here we go. Dodgers done tomorrow. We got, man, our main top hitter stunk up the joint. Yeah, Doug, but a team can't always have the Cinderella story. Yeah, I mean, that's why I don't just blatantly go, I don't just do it all the time. But D-Mac, on a scale of 1 to 10, how do you feel about Gonsolin pitching tomorrow? I mean, probably around a 5 if we're being completely honest with you. Luck, LOL not. The Dodgers will be just fine. We got, I don't trust Gonsolin. Joseph Gonzalez, the Dodgers. Doug, the players are playing to prove to everyone that 2020 was a real championship. I agree. And look, I mean, if we're being completely honest with each other, I mean, if they do lose this round, everyone around Major League Baseball is going to probably call into question that 2020 World Series. I mean, if we're being honest with you, I mean, a 60-game series doesn't carry the same weight as a 162-game series or a series that have home and road games. I mean, look, I mean, you have to just be really blind not to admit to that, but it doesn't mean it wasn't a legitimate World Series. So, I mean, in my opinion, I think the 2020 World Series, I consider it on par with a normal World Series when you consider the circumstances that the players had to deal with, when you consider that they had to win 13 games, you had to play on consecutive nights, but at the same token, I want to win with some fans in the stands. I want a parade. I want to silence the road crowd, hopefully in Game 5 of this series. So, I mean, to me, fans make the game. sports is all about fans. No fans, no sports. I mean, that's just how it is. And yeah, I mean, hopefully that's another motivating factor that this team has. Look, they are the defending champions. It's very hard to repeat in Major League Baseball. Hasn't been done since 2000. Hasn't been done in the National League since 1976. And it's very difficult. Lots of moving parts. But this Dodger team, they're going to have to respond. And hopefully they bounce back tomorrow with a big win. What about David Price? Yeah, I mean, did they announce who it is? DNpostgame. What up, Brian Gags? We had so many injuries too. Rebecca, Michelle, David. Yeah, definitely the injury bug has been a factor. But look, let's not write the epitaph for this season. Let's not eulogize the 2021 Dodgers just yet. To me, they still have a great chance to find a way. We know this team likes to come back with look what they did. I mean, just all you have to do is just look at this series. They scored 0 runs in the first game, and they come back and they scored 9 runs in the second game. So hopefully that trend continues. And the Dodgers, they have an offensive, a big offensive showing. And when you're tied 2 games apiece, anything can happen in a Game 5 winner take all. And the Dodgers will have to do it on the road. But look, I mean, bottom line is there is a lot of adversity right now facing the Dodgers team. And I'm hoping that this offense can find a way just to put together some more consistent at-bats. I really do feel good if we can get to Logan Webb again, just like we were able to get to Strasburg later in the series in the DS, score some runs off of him when he was dominant early in the series back in 2019. So I do think that the Dodgers could squeak one away in Game 5. I could see them winning this series, but you got to take it one game at a time and find a way to win Game 4 first. But here we go. Dodgers win tomorrow. What are you talking about if that trend continues? So if they score runs tomorrow, then they won't score anything in Game 5. And I'm saying that the trend continues for Game 4. And then at that point, you just never know. Hopefully the Dodgers are back to square one and put together better at-bats against Logan Webb. And this bullpen continues to be fantastic. Walker Buehler has one of those lights-out Walker Buehler starts, and the Dodgers win. I mean, I could totally see that. I mean, this Dodger team is still a very talented team. This Dodger has more top-end talent than this Giants team, but you just looked. I mean, tonight was just unfortunate. There were a couple at-bats, a couple situations away where maybe you score some runs and you start to get that momentum, and maybe the Dodgers run away with it. But disappointing. Team is overrated, sorry to say. Such a letdown from JRM, from Adriana VC. We got start a reliever and Gonsolin pitch from the second inning. Yeah, could have the opener out. Mr. Death, I doubt it. Who's the clown that sold Kike? Must have been. Well, think about Kike Hernandez. Let's get something straight here. You just don't think about Kike Hernandez. So where would Kike start on this team right now? I mean, Kike came off the bench for this team. Kike played a super utility role for this team. Occasionally you see him in the outfield. Sometimes you see him in the infield. Kike Hernandez wanted a chance to prove that he could be an everyday starter and have 500 plate appearances. That is what he wanted. The Dodgers, they weren't in a position to present him that opportunity, and especially when you trade for Trey Turner, who's going to take over second base, and you have Corey Seeger at short, it was just time to move on. So, look, I mean, would it have been great if Kike Hernandez was willing to stay on this team for a reasonable contract coming off the bench? Sure it has, but why would you do that for Kike Hernandez? As much as you love the Dodgers, look, you only have so many years in this league. You want to get paid, and clearly Kike Hernandez made the right decision to go to the Boston Red Sox. And Jock Peterson, he signs a 1-year deal. And look, I mean, teams change. You can't keep everyone. That's just how it is. And, it's unfortunate, but that's not why the Dodgers are losing. The Dodgers aren't losing because they don't have Kike Hernandez and Jock Peterson, Alex Verdugo. That's just not the case here. That's been Dodgers' MO all season. Score a lot of runs, and then the next game hit no runs. Yeah, we talked about, we're going to have to break that pattern at some point. The Wind won today. It's an interesting point. But, hey, man, the Wind took away their home runs too. I mean, the Wind affected them. So, look, I don't want to hear about the Wind when it comes to Gavin Lux, because what did the Wind do to Brandon Crawford when he hit it to center? That would have probably been out too. The Wind just straight up, boom. It stopped that one in midair. So, look, I mean, you can't take away what the Giants were able to do today. Alex Wood, I thought he was fantastic in his role. I thought Duvall is a freaking beast. I mean, Frankie Rodriguez vibes, right? I mean, just coming out there, and he's just lethal. I mean, the Dodgers just didn't stand a chance against him. They just straight up got owned by him. Momentum, the Bauer curse lives on. Interesting. Longo didn't care about this win. Longoria crushed that ball. My point exactly. I hate to say it, but I think it's over. Do you guys think it's over? Me, I don't. I think we're going to be looking at a Game 5 up in San Francisco where anything can happen. And I think the Dodgers, their veteran experience against a guy like Logan Webb, hopefully will pay off and turn into some runs early on. But I definitely don't think this season is over. I still think the Dodgers come out tomorrow. They take care of business. They force that Game 5. And if they don't, then we'll talk all about it. We'll talk about everything that went wrong. But as of right now, I thought the offense you just can't, there's no excuses for tonight. There really isn't. I mean, the offense was putrid. When you don't have, you have 0 extra base hits. It's just terrible. I mean, there's not really much more you can say than they just didn't show up tonight. And like I said, we can get into some more of some of these, of some of the game itself. But here we go. Come on, D-Mac. It's over tomorrow from Carl. You guys really think so? Give me all your score predictions for tomorrow. I think the Dodgers win. I think tomorrow they win 5-3. Let me give me 5-3 tomorrow. Why can't we carry momentum? Look, Thomas Workman, momentum is only as good as, today it's baseball. Momentum is weird in baseball. I mean, basketball momentum is serious, and football I think as well. But baseball, look, it's about who's the more dominant starter that day. Offensively, the Dodgers have had their issues with left-handed pitching. This year, they've gotten better in that department. Today, they just couldn't. Look, 2 singles from Albert Pujols on Alex Wood. That's where the game was lost. I mean, if we're being completely honest right here, you can't get to Alex Wood at your home ballpark. I mean, all you can muster is 2 singles. I mean, look, what more can you say to that? I mean, look, those guys need to show up, and you need more competitive at-bats. You need to find a way to stroke some base hits and get some rips and find a way to find some gaps. I mean, it was just, and like I said, I mean, that crowd was ready to get on fire. And I think that Wood was totally hittable. Yeah, I mean, he was missing his spot at times. He missed some pitches. I mean, and it's not even like the at-bats weren't long. Mookie Betts, when Mookie there early in the game, he had that 10-pitch at-bat with but in the bottom of the third that he pops to third right there. But let's look at this game in more depth. But can you imagine that if this season ends tomorrow, that a big reason for why it ended was because of Alex Wood and Jake McGee? Man, baseball, it'll break your heart over and over again. Ever since the All-Star break, the Dodgers won with pitching, not with hitting. Same problem tonight. I mean, look, the Dodgers offense has had explosive days, explosive months. Like the last 5 games of the season, averaged 9 runs per game. Trey Turner won the batting title. You got, look, don't discount the loss of Max Muncy, but on the same token, they're missing Brandon Belt. That's their bopper. He had 29 bombs for them. Max Muncy, 36 bombs. He led the Dodgers. So both those guys are out, and you just can't make excuses. I mean, their Dodgers offense, there's no excuse. This offense should be able to produce more than 1 run twice. They got shut out twice in this series. I mean, it's inexcusable. It is inexcusable. There's no sugarcoat to that. It is an absolute abomination. I mean, this is the worst offensive performance in 2 out of 3 games in a series during this entire run. That's just how bad it is since this regime has taken over. I mean, this is just, it's atrocious, man. Stop making dumb moves like sending out your staff to rivals. Interesting. I mean, guys got to move on, man. Look, the Farhan's got to move on. I mean, the Kapler's got to move on. I mean, guys, look, the Dodgers, one of the reasons, I mean, this is really a testament to the Dodgers' eye for talent, their ability to develop. You're seeing that around the league with the success of Jock Peterson and Alex Verdugo and Kike Hernandez and Alex Wood. Look, you spend time with the Dodgers, they're going to try to find a way to optimize your talent. But on the same token, you just can't keep everyone. I mean, look at this bullpen. They were outstanding tonight. Blake Trinan, Kenley Jansen, Max Scherzer, we haven't even really talked about. He gives you 7 innings tonight, and you got to feel really, really good about that. I mean, 7 innings, he made 7 innings, and he makes 1 mistake. 1 mistake, gives up 3 hits, had 1 earned run, 10 punch-outs, 110 pitches, a season high. I mean, he was fantastic. And if you're the Giants, you found a way to beat Max Scherzer with 1 run on the road. when the series was split. And the team that goes on to win, when the series is tied at 1 game apiece, the team that goes on to win that pivotal Game 3, they go on to win the series 72% of the time, a little more than 72% of the time. So this game was a must-win. This was the biggest game of the season, and the Dodgers didn't show up. It's absolutely disappointing on every single level possible, and it's going to be a long, cold winter for all these players that if they're not able to come back in this series, because I'm telling you, if this team loses tomorrow, this is a World Series team that lost because they didn't show up. I don't know if it's effort. I don't know if it's game planning strategy. I mean, we can get into some of these at-bats specifically in just a second, but here we go. Blue Tsunami, okay. And that's the thing, too. Dodgers are riding a 16-game home winning streak. The Dodgers were 12-0 with Max Scherzer on the mound. So everything was pointing to a Dodgers victory tonight, except the bats did not get the job done. It was if they had a job and they would get written up. They would possibly they'd get written up for a no-call, no-show because they didn't show up today. But here we go. Summary of tonight: hitting coach sucks. John Gruden was fired. Interesting. I saw a little update on that, but I've been so locked in on this, I don't know anything about that really. Don't forget they made some good defensive plays. Give them credit. We will bounce back. Yeah, I thought Chris Taylor was really outstanding today. I mean, you saw. Let's get into this game. Okay, so bottom of the third, a 1-2 count. Pujols gets a leadoff single to right on a sinker, a little jam shot, and then Smith flied to left. Scherzer laid down the sac bunt to get Pujols into scoring position, and then here's the first big opportunity for Mookie Betts. With Woody and Mookie on the 10th pitch with the battle between Woody and Mookie, and on the 10th pitch of the at-bat, Mookie pops it up to third, and the Dodgers just couldn't take advantage of that leadoff base hit. Top of the fourth inning, Max strikes out Posey, swinging with the slider, gets Crawford to ground to first on the first pitch, a changeup, inducing that soft contact. Nice job. And Scherzer, he actually retired 10 straight Giants before giving up that single, after giving that single to Posey there early in the game in the first. And then Chris Bryant, he gets a 2-out single to left. And then Max, he gets Wade swinging on a cutter to end the inning. So he worked his way around that 2-out single by Bryant. Seeger doesn't deserve a $200 million contract. Let that kid go. V-track. Hey, man, I think he would definitely deserve a $200 million. I would definitely sign Seeger for $200 million. Remember 2016 when we were down 2-1 to the Nats? Yeah, we could definitely. I mean, look, this team has the moxie. They have that championship pedigree to come back and win this series. But I will tell you, this Giants team is a much, much, much better team, a much well-managed team, a much well-coached team than that 26 Nationals team. And yes, that Nationals team was nice, and it was great to see Kershaw come out there and have that big moment on the road in that game. And the Dodgers definitely can't do it. Make no mistake about it. But who's giving up on the Dodgers? I'm not. I'm just talking about this is a major missed opportunity. Mookie was out. I wouldn't sign him. He has no heart. He has no heart. Did you just start watching baseball like 5 minutes ago? I mean, you're just embarrassing yourself, man. He won the World Series MVP last season. I mean, he went into God mode. He was Corey Slugger. It was a historic run by Corey Seeger. And so to act like he has no heart, I mean, you're just embarrassing yourself. I just almost feel bad for you. Mookie has no heart. Dude, all these guys have hearts. They had a bad night, okay? They had a bad night. Anytime you're a professional baseball player on this level that's been able to accomplish what these guys have been able to accomplish, you have tons of heart, but it doesn't mean that you didn't have a bad night. And that's exactly what the Dodgers did. It just unfortunately that they had no heart it's unfortunate that they had a rough night in this situation. But to say these guys have no heart, I mean, this is the same team that became this core nucleus is the same team that came back down 3-1 and were able to come back down 3-1 for the first time in franchise history. So I don't buy that at all. I still feel good about this team making a series out of this and getting us to Game 5. And if they get to Game 5, anything can happen. And I really think this team, I just don't see this team going out in the NLDS. I mean, there's too much talent. But here we go. Dodgers are known to disappoint. I mean, what franchise doesn't disappoint at times? I mean, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Do not re-sign Corey Slumper. You guys are crazy. I'm a Giants fan. I would take Corey. Oh, trust me. You got Corey Seager slander is just not accepted. I mean, I think that Corey Seager. is fantastic. I mean, defensively, he's a below average shortstop defensively, but I mean, what he can do with the stick, he's been fantastic. But unfortunately, this series, has that double there in the first game, but not much to show for you. Had the single in the RBI single there late in game 2, but hit some balls hard tonight. Just wasn't able to really get it going, and we were hoping that he would do what he did last year. And last year, he was absolutely ridiculous. Like I said, it was a historic run. The run he had last year in the postseason. Last year in the postseason, Corey Seeger, he was 22 for 67. 22 for 67. He slashed 328, 425, 746, had an 1171 OPS. An 1171 OPS in the postseason. I mean, he was just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, he had 8 home runs. I mean, he was up there with Randy Rosarena, guys like Barry Bonds. I mean, you're talking about some of the greats of the game. So he took home NLCS and World Series MVP. So I mean, I won't even entertain that conversation. That he doesn't have heart. Losing 0 for 1 is just the saddest thing ever. I would agree with that. Dodgers do or die. We scored all of our runs in game 2, back up T1. Yeah, that's tough. Any word on who's pitching for LA? Let me check right now. This is a live show. Let's see here. So it looks like, I believe it is Gonson, so from what was reported earlier. But remove Pollock and put Lux. Hope the Dodgers win because they do have heart, bro. Do these people not remember the fight we had in the 2020 postseason? That's from Tim over on YouTube. Yeah, I mean, look, sometimes you get emotional and after games, after tough losses like this one. So I totally understand. But look, the reality is you got to pick yourself up off the mat tomorrow and find a way to get a dub. And if you get that dub, look, I mean, this series feels like it was meant to go 5 games. The first time the Giants and Dodgers are meeting in the postseason, you have to think that it's gonna go 5. And if it does, hopefully that Game 5 is an epic matchup between two of the great franchises in the history of baseball, two of the historic franchises, and hopefully Walker Buehler can be in his bag. And the Dodgers, look, will Logan Webb dominate the Dodgers again after seeing them another time after the adjustments? Look, remember, the Dodgers, they were chasing stuff. They were chasing sliders. They were chasing the changeup. They were expanding the zone. Will they do that twice? That's one thing that we've seen with this Dodger team is they've made adjustments. I mean, you saw last year in the postseason again and again, you saw going up against Morton there after he had his way with the Dodgers in years past. They were able to score some runs off him. But I'm sorry, I'm going to miss Corey Seager from Brian Alex. It was meant to go 5 games from Diane Schroeder. Exactly. That's how it feels. He will not. No way. Here we go. D-Mac, I will be at Game 5. I will see you at Oracle for the pregame show. Let's go. What up, Trent Thomas? Hey, man, let's change gears. Get the vibes back up, man. Here we go. Break down the Dodger fan base from Josh Smith. 80% are bandwagoners. 15% didn't know the Dodgers were a baseball team 2 months ago. 4% are fans because they hate the Giants and Padres. Remaining 1% are. I would disagree with that, man. The Dodgers have their hardcores, man. But look, man. Why no Belly appearance? He actually came in at first. Not like they didn't have the best matchups there for Belly, and you saw the idea, the going with Pujols to start the game against who I think he was 3. I think Pujols was 3 for 12 against Wood. But look, Pollock, Chris Taylor, Justin Turner, Trey Turner, Mookie Betts, they all had really good numbers against Alex Wood, and they just weren't able to get it done. But here we go. Let's keep jumping in this comment section. Pound for pound, D-Mac, we effing suck. Update on Muncie from Carl Justin. The update really is, look, I mean, talked a couple days ago. They're trying to see what they can do to find a way to get him on the field if they're able to advance to the NLCS or World Series. But right now, it's not really worth mentioning. He's out this series. He's been out this series. And look, the bottom line is that first base position, Albert Pujols, he comes through with 2 hits tonight, and Cody Bellinger, he almost hit a grand slam. He had that 2-run double there in Game 2. So you have had production from that spot on the lineup. Now, But Muncy, look, he can carry. I mean, he can go yard and he can get you big home runs. The Dodgers have had 4 walk-off postseason home runs, one by Gibby, one by JT, one by Muncy, and one by CT3. So, agreed, Max Scherzer was phenomenal. If it goes 5 and the Dodgers win, wow, that would be pretty. Look, think about this. At this point, either this series is going to be one of the most epic, most memorable Dodgers series ever, or one of the most gut-wrenching, heartbreaking, terrible ones we'll ever think of. So, I mean, at this point, the stakes couldn't be higher. And at this point, we'll see what happens. Sending all my negative vibes to Rob Van Scoyac, Ivy Strokin. Brian Rodriguez, just believe Dodger fans that our boys in blue will come through tomorrow and in Game 5. # bleed blue. I love the vibes. Michelada half full, my man, Brian Rodriguez. Muncy might be out. But so is Bell for the Giants. Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. The Dodgers will win. Relax a little. The Dodgers team cannot win a Game 4, not even at home. I disagree with that. Urias has to start Game 5. Buehler, unreliable. I think when you consider the rest, you're going to have that one travel day. I think Buehler, as great as Julio was out of the pen last year, 1.17 ERA and over 23 innings pitched, and he didn't give a run. He didn't allow a run in 13 1/3 last year in the Dodgers postseason run. If you look at their body of work from 2018, 2019, 2020 on, look, last year Buehler had a 1.85 ERA as a starter. So yes, I know that Julio, he got squeezed a little in Game 2, which allowed to a run. But Buehler, look, he wasn't terrible by any stretch. He definitely got outpitched because Logan Webb was in his bag that night, but I still would feel fine with having Walker Buehler on the mound, and then you can always use Julio out of the pen if you need to. But really, his bullpen has been fantastic. They've been outstanding. I mean, you saw what Blake Trino was able to do tonight, Kenley Jansen. They have all done their job. It's the offense that hasn't carried their weight. Is it weird? Does Brandon Crawford look like he doubled in size? It's from Keith Evan. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, all those guys have had resurgent years from Posey to Brandon Belt to Brandon Crawford. It's interesting. I don't have any evidence to support anything other than the fact that Barry Bonds was at the game, and he's the leader up in San Francisco. Orange October, down bad. Yeah, electric blue, I feel your pain. Crawford, the MVP. William Blockson, a needle emoji. Yes, not feeling good about Price either. Yeah, Price in the game. That would be a shaky situation. Barnes hurt a lot. I mean, look, it wasn't it didn't have too many options from that side of the plate, but look, we've seen it. We saw the big home run he had against the Giants earlier in the year. He has come through. I think he was 0 for 5 against McGee in his career, but here we go. Doug, hitters, Michael Tracy. Doug, hitters more talented. Giants, Giant hitting seems more focused and disciplined. Does this go coaching? Dodgers used to win lots of close games and had timely hitting. The hitting chemistry changed. I think tonight you saw their approach at the plate, even later in the game. At some point, you just got to get on base, and whether that be find a way to get a free pass, which, look, I mean, they did draw 2 walks tonight, and they just couldn't slug. I mean, you weren't seeing them find gaps. You weren't seeing very many situations where they were really putting together really quality at-bats together. Souza, look at this. Look at the hits they got tonight. Souza Jr., he comes off the bench. He gives you a single. 2 of those hits were from Albert Pujols. 1 is from Will Smith, who for some reason, there should be tons of Will Smith jerseys at Dodger Stadium. He's one of the best players on the team. I mean, Will Smith is so underrated. He goes up there, and he gets you a base hit. And then Justin Turner, he was able to get you a single as well. But other than that, I mean, nothing really happening. Barnes batting .215, going for the Red Sox now. Moose 1032. This season's not over, man. The baseball gods can be cruel. Henry Moreno, absolutely. This team really likes to mess with us. Let's put it that way. Anthony Keene, who left the door open for all these Giants fans? Shame they don't have a kick-ass post-game show to watch. I always appreciate you, my man, Anthony Keene. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. They just, troller's going to troll. They're good for the numbers. So, yeah. Brian Alex, Doug, tomorrow might be Seeger's last game with the Dodgers. Brian Alex. Yeah, I mean, look, that's once reality sinks in, that's a fact. I mean, look at Corey Seeger. Could be his last game in Dodger blue. Could be Chris Taylor's last game in Dodger blue. Could be Albert Pujols's. I mean, a lot of things. Well, you'll see some wholesale changes if they don't, just on the fact that they're not going to re-sign all these guys. And two, I mean, let's see how tomorrow goes. Let's just put it that way. Let's see if they can force a Game 5, and if they do, they've already proven they can go up to San Francisco and win. But that's going to be a tough task. But this team is up for the challenge. They're a team that they're a resilient bunch. They have proven they are champions. They proved that last season. So thank you, D-Mac from Andrew. Thank you very much, Andrew. Thank you, Blue Magic. Giants' wife haven't sang yet, so it's not over. Oh, man. Belly had a momentum. Daniel Cruz. Yeah, look. I was fine with that. I was fine. Look, Belly struggled against lefties this season mightily. I didn't have an issue at all with Bellinger. I mean, to me, if you guys want if you want a slice of that blame pie, I would start with the top of this lineup. They're like, last time I checked, they were like 5 for 50. I don't know. I got in the postseason. I gotta check, but like the numbers are putrid. Let's just put it that way. When it comes to Mookie, Trey, Justin Turner, and Corey Seager, those four should be carrying this lineup. They should be carrying this offense, and they have not gotten the job done. I'll do the numbers a little bit, but I guarantee you they're going to be ugly. And they just haven't come through. I mean, that's just the fact. Punching the air, wow, so funny. Win 2 and move on. That's the mentality. Win 2 and the Dodgers win 2 and you're through. That's got to be the mentality. What up, Brian Gaggs? I hit that like button and I subscribe. Thank you, Dirtbag. Yeah, if you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe to the Dodgers Nation YouTube channel at youtube.com/Dodgers Nation TV. We're here all season long, all year long. We're always, win, lose, or draw. We're always posting content. So, Daniel Cruz, trolls bring us luck. I like that. Giants winning the series. Kyle Grossman. Our main guys didn't get it done tonight, and that's it. Mookie's hit must not be 100%. Well, look, Mookie Betts is hitting. I mean, I'd venture to say he probably has the most hits this postseason for the Dodgers, but you're not seeing the home runs. You're not seeing the doubles like we saw last year in the wild card series against the Brewers, where he really set the tone early on, and even later on in the series. But Crawford robbed AJ of a double. Yeah, that was another bad one too, Deborah Young. I mean, look, Brandon Crawford, he's outstanding. I mean, he is a phenomenal defender. You look at the back of his baseball card, and he has gotten it done. And that was just such – I mean, that was if the Dodgers go on to lose this series, that is the play that will haunt my mind, is that play he makes on Mookie Betts there in the bottom of the 7th inning, an .850 expected batting average. And you think that, hey, they tie that game up, and look, man, Dodger Stadium is rocking, and the momentum is happening, and we're feeling it. But nope, he makes that play, and look, he's a 3-time Gold Glove Award winner for a reason, and he made a big play, and it could end up being one of the big differences in this series. But here we go, Dodgers 60-game Mickey Mouse champs. Gray Beard's here. Man, you're such a hack, bro. Like, that is the most unoriginal thing. But let me see if you can get any original material, and then I'll mess with you. But, hey, I have no issue. I enjoyed the 2020 World Series. Yes, it was a 60-game season, but look, everyone's going to remember the year of 2020. Everyone's going to remember the uniqueness of that year, considering there were cardboard cutouts, considering there were games on consecutive days, and we're never going to forget that championship. And also, for me, I mean, it was the last championship that Tommy Lasorda ever got to see. So, to me, I'll always be a special championship, and it was the first World Series in 32 years. But, you can say what you want. To be honest with you, your opinion on the Dodgers World Series means absolutely nothing to me. Here we go. Hello from Tokyo, Doug, from Raul. I hate the Giants, but there is no way they're going to win Game 5 with Logan Webb. SoCal Red 16. Hey, what's up, SoCal Red? Day one, always rocking with us. Hope you're feeling good, my man. Dodgers fans peaked in high school. Anthony C. Anthony Q would never say that. It wasn't our fault. For reals, Gray Beard, go to bed, old man. Gray Beard, man. Hey, man, he could be anywhere in the world. He's here in the 54th minute of a Dodgers postgame show, man. You must have zero life, bruh. Really? Let's go White Sox. So that Trash Shows fan. LO D-Mac gets a finish him for that. Finish him. There you go. Dodgers super team can't win. Blame Roberts. Period. I don't. This one doesn't fall on Roberts, man. If you're gonna say blame Roberts, man, you gotta include the other dudes on the team. I feel like that's the low hanging fruit. I feel like that's the easy take at this point. I feel like that's the take you make when you're just kind of bored at this point. Because look, Dave Roberts, you can't pin this loss on Dave. I mean, look, you guys know I'm fair with Dave. I'll criticize him when he deserves it. I'll give him praise when he deserves it. But tonight wasn't on Dave. I mean, the lineup. I mean, you saw Will Smith was lower in that lineup batting in the 8th hole because of the substitutions later in the game. But look, I mean, tonight, if you go up and down this lineup, and the bottom line is this Dodger team, they got shut down at home. I mean, you got shut out, man. When you get shut out, there's a lot of blame to go around. But they go 5 for 31, 0 for 4 for Mookie Betts, an 0 for 77 for Trey Turner. Trey Turner is now batting 77 in the postseason. Corey Seeger, he's batting 167 in the postseason. Justin Turner, Dodgers legend, he's batting .77 in this postseason. So just look at those averages. That is, if you want to know why the Dodgers are losing, it's not Dave Roberts. It's definitely not the pitching staff who they were outstanding once again tonight. Blake Trinan, he went 1 inning, had 1 punch out. I mean, Kenley Jansen. First of all, Kenley Jansen. I mean, this would be a shame if the Dodgers had an early exit, because Kenley Jansen, this would be the year that I think that he really just owns it in the postseason. He struck out the side again tonight, 3 punchies, and then Scherzer, he takes the loss, which is unfortunate. Their first loss with him starting as a Dodger. He goes 7 innings, allows a run on a hit, had 3 punch-outs on a season-high 110 pitches, and he was battling early on. We can talk about early on Max Scherzer, where he was struggling with his command. He made those adjustments, kind of with some lower body adjustments. But first inning, he leads off walk to La Stella and missing with the fastball. Then he fell behind to Yastrzemski, 3-0, missing with the fastball, arm side and glove side on that one. And he works his way back in the count. And then on a 3-2 count, he gets him looking at a fastball. So first pitch to Posey, he leaves a slider out over the middle of the plate. Posey bangs into right field for a single, giving the Giants runners on first and second with 1 out, and Crawford at the plate. And then he gets ahead of Crawford 0-2. They hit those 3 straight balls, and then Crawford fouls off the 3-2 pitch. We do it again, and on the 7th pitch of the at-bat, he gets him swinging with a heater for the second out of the inning. And then with runners on first and second and 2 outs, he gets Chris Bryant on 3 pitches. So the thing about Scherzer tonight was he was getting the swing and miss. He was getting the punch-outs early on, and that's why I felt good about him. I knew when he got warmed up, he would really settle, and he did just that. But like I said, you want to know why the Dodgers lost? I mean, it's very, very simple here. It's very, very simple here tonight. Mookie Betts 0 for 4, Trey Turner 0 for 4, Corey Seager 0 for 3, Justin Turner 1 for 4 with the single. Chris Taylor, I think defensively, he made big plays this game. A.J. Pollock had 2 hits, and I had people on Twitter saying that, this didn't age well because he had one good game. Look, bottom line, what is he now? I mean, in his postseason career, I mean, he's in like 150 and 68, 7 at bats, I believe. I'm just doing the numbers in my head, but I mean, he didn't come through. And yes, Crawford made a nice play on a hit from him, but yeah, man, I mean. And then Pujols went 2 for 2. So, I mean, this Dodgers lineup there, the guys that should be producing did not tonight. It's over from Dewey. Even your clown as manager was on our team in 2008. Anthony C. Dodger fans discovered fire last week. Last good thing he did, LOL. Today was our chance, and we blew it, Daniel Cruz. Yeah, the top of the lineup has been brutal. Yeah. And, yeah, I mean, yeah, not seeing Bellinger having at bat. Definitely, I mean, in hindsight, look, I mean, you saw what they did earlier where they subbed him in, and then, let's look at it. And you saw Barnes, he pinch hit later in the game. And then Gavin Lux, he pinch hit there late in the game as well. But, yeah, I mean, it just they just didn't get it done, man. And like I said, Mookie Betts was up in some big spots tonight. Let's jump to that top of the 5th inning where we look at the we actually already did that, I think. But yeah, and then top of the 5th inning, Albert Pujols pinch hit. I mean a leadoff base hit. It was pinch ran for McKinney, And then Will Smith, he flies out. Scherzer strikes out in a bunt. And then Rogers, he comes in for Wood, and he quickly falls behind 3-0. And, this is an interesting part of the game, too, that the fourth pitch of that at-bat, it was clearly low. That was a ball. Mookie should have been on base, and should have been first and second with Trey Turner at the plate in 2 outs. But they give him the call, bottom of the zone, and then Mookie Betts, he grounded to third. So that was another opportunity, was in scoring position, but it was with the runner on, and he couldn't get a base hit. Then top of the 6th, a 1-2 count to Yaz. He gives a ride to center. CT3 got a great jump on it. Took his eye off it for a second, but a great body control, great route, great play. You saw that speed and athleticism that makes CT3 a special defender. And then he gets Posey to fly to center for the second out. Then Crawford, he gave one a ride too, but the wind kind of kept it in the yard. And 3 putouts for CT3 that inning, 3 fly ball outs. So you start to see less punch outs from Scherzer later in the game, but he did come back there in the top of the 7th, gets Bryant to pop out, Wade Jr. to strike out swing. It was his first K since getting Duggar swinging there in the 5th, and then he gets CT3. CT3 makes another great play, getting to a Longoria line drive in center to end the inning. So there's that. And then bottom of the 7th, Pollock grounds to second for the first out. Then Souza, he got that. I think we already did this, but yeah, we pretty much already broke down this entire game. A very disappointing loss tonight for the Los Angeles Dodgers. Thanks a lot, Dan Schroeder. Keep mashing that like button. Yeah, if you're on YouTube, like the show. I know it was a tough loss, but you guys know, even in the worst losses, you're going to find me right here for the Dodgers Nation post-game show. Because, look, man, we got to break it down, good, bad, or the ugly. And tonight it was the ugly for the Dodgers, who face elimination tomorrow. They face elimination tomorrow. Hopefully the Dodgers can find a way to get it done and find a way to force Game 5. Because if you win tomorrow, if you win tomorrow, then you force that Game 5, and anything can happen. Anything can happen. Have they announced the official starter of yet for tomorrow's game? I'm warning. I haven't seen an update yet. I guess I'll find out. I'll find out after the game. Have they yet, guys? Let me see here. Dodgers got blanked twice. They did, man. Hey, LMAO, come to Frisco and get smoked, gangsta. Okay, I love me some D-Mac, Dodgers Nation. Thanks, Diane Schroeder. Let's go Dodgers. They won 1-0. Their offense was flat too. The Dodgers will win tomorrow and beat Webb in Game 5. There you go, Patrick Cullen. I needed that, and I feel good about it. Hey, Alex Cortez. Don't make homophobic remarks, man. That's unacceptable, man. That's just, dude. Don't be a terrible human. All right. Dodgers body language is saying the Giants are in their heads. D-Mac for governor. We got this. Yeah, gone so long. Oh, so it's Gonson. Okay. Logan Webb, benefactor of an expanded strike zone, lifetime ERA 3.94. Tomorrow we will hit different. Yikes, Doug. We go into Game 5. Hey, Trent, let's do this. Webb is a monster. Here we go. But thanks, guys, for rocking with us. Tough game tonight. Final thoughts. It was a rough night for the Bats. Unfortunately, it came in a game where the Dodgers had a golden opportunity to take a commanding 2-1 series lead. When the series is split, the winner of that Game 3 goes on to win the series 72.5% of the time. So the Dodgers, their backs are against the wall, just like it was last year in the NLCS. What happened last year? The Dodgers came back and they won that series and will go on to win the World Series. So I'm hoping for that magic again with this team tomorrow. Hopefully they get that offense going early, they get a big win, and then Game 5, anything can happen. So we'll be back here tomorrow right after the game, so be sure to join us. Let's get a couple of your takes before we head out. You guys can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DMac_LA. That's at DMac_LA. Here we go. Happy Indigenous Peoples Day. Oh, I'd be stroking. That's what I'm talking about. Preach D-Mac. Thanks, Deborah Young. Thanks, D-Mac from Tina G-Man. I'm sad. Game 5 smash. Hey, guys, let's keep the positive vibes, man. Hey, we are in it until we are not. This series was bound to be an epic series. It was bound to go 5 games, in my opinion. And if it comes to that 5th game, I like the Dodgers championship pedigree, and how delicious would it be to go up there and play spoiler up in San Francisco. I think it'd be magical. I think this rivalry deserves a series like this where it goes all 5 games and it's a dogfight until the very end. So let's hope for that. Let's get that win tomorrow. Let's talk about it after the game. And Game 5, anything can happen. But thanks again. Thanks Thanks again, guys. LFG. All right, let's go. Giants championship blood. Hunter Pence. Thanks, Doug. Thanks, Rebecca. It's not over. And Dodgers choke. Thanks, D-Max. See you tomorrow. Carne asada fries at Game 5. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, thanks again, guys. Best fans in the game, as always. Hey, remember, nothing brings us together quite like Dodger baseball. If you haven't yet, subscribe to the YouTube channel at youtube.com/DodgersNationTV. Anytime, pick up your mood. I appreciate you, Zaidi, over on Facebook. But thanks, guys. Martinis for me. Okay, get it done. But thanks, guys. I would hang out with y'all at night. But we'll be back tomorrow. Look for some content, some new vids on the channel tomorrow. Check in with the pregame show with Mr. Clint Pasillas and Brooke Smith, the senior editors here at Dodgers Nation before the game. Rock with us after. Let's hope we're either celebrating a big win and a showdown Game 5, or there's going to be a very dark show tomorrow. But either way, join us. Have a great rest of your night. My name is Doug McCain. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DMac_LA. That's at DMac_LA. See you guys tomorrow. And until next time, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.
It's time for